guys, welcome back to FFT Fabian's Fantasyleague Thoughts, and it's good to be back. It's international break right now, so we're all enjoying some international football, and a lot has been happening also as well. But I just want to ask you guys, did you guys manage to wildcard or didn't you wildcard? If you managed to wildcard, please share it with us. Hit us up in the socials. Tell us what was your thinking. Did you score some good points and you planning ahead for the next few game weeks also as well with playing your wildcard. And also the transfer window has closed and a lot has been happening. Chelsea has been seriously beefing up their squad. City got Grealish, and we have Liverpool signing a centre back, and that's all that they signed. It's still the same Mo Salah and Firmino and Mane and Virgil van Dijk, all those guys. And then we have Arsenal. Wow, they signed quite a few players and they are still 20th on the log, which I'm very much happy about. And just a little mention to the maestro himself, Lionel Messi, moving from Barcelona to PSG, which I'm very happy about because I don't like Barcelona at all. They just have a lot of money issues. The guy was willing to take a 50% pay cut, and I don't think I would do that because you are just, I mean, if you are one of the best players in the world, how can your club not pay you? You know, if they're not willing to pay you, just move on. And PSG was willing to pay him the money, and yeah, and he's obviously going to play, and I hope he's successful there. And yeah, and then we have Cristiano Ronaldo. Woo! Sir! I am very happy about that as a Manchester United, just to hear that sir at the Old Trafford. Just imagining that alone has to make you excited as a Manchester United supporter, and also as a football supporter. You must be happy. And if you're supporting the Premier League, I mean, it's great exposure for the Premier League. It's the best news since wow, this guy, Cristiano Ronaldo, anyone would be happy with him. Although his age and the critics has been going crazy, we don't care. We know what we're going to get out of Cristiano Ronaldo. And yes, and in FPL terms, we must think now, it's 12.5 million for him. Wow, are you willing to spend 12.5 million on Cristiano Ronaldo? I will be sharing my thoughts on that on a later stage. But the main topic is about FPL prices. But before we touch on FPL prices, I just want to share something that's happening and it's making waves in our RSFL Lions Den, and it's a banter group that we have in the RSFL. It's where the managers interact with one another. We just share some jokes and it's all good and well. And the one thing that's making headwaves right now is the Ryder Cup. And for those people who don't know the Ryder Cup, it's where the Premiership and the Championship go head to head for the season to see which league is the best out of the two. And from each game week, we take the top 6 and the top 6 scorers from both leagues, and also as well the 2 lowest scorers of the game week. So we add them up. So each league will have a total, and the one who has the most out of the game week wins the round. So the score right now is 3-0 to the Premiership managers, winning. And the Championship managers are just unhappy about it. They are blaming one another. They are upset. And I'm just very happy because I can rub it in their faces because I'm from the Premiership, I have to represent us as much as possible. But yeah, hopefully we can have one of the Championship managers on the RSFL TV, or they can even join me on Faba's Fantasy Thoughts. But yeah, that is like currently making headways in our Lions. Then the championship managers are so upset, and I'm very happy about that. Yeah, after the break, we will be tackling FPL prices and what is basically based on, is the player worth his FPL price, yes or no? And I will tackle that after the break. Hi guys, welcome back. And like I said, today's main topic is FPL prices. So in the beginning of the season, we're all looking forward to seeing whose prices went up and whose prices went down. So I will be tackling the top 10 clubs in the Premiership alphabetical order. So it will be Arsenal, Aston Villa, Brentford, the newly promoted team, and it's Brighton, it's Burnley, it's Chelsea, it's Crystal Palace, it's Everton, it's Leeds, and it's Leicester City. And I will be taking some players out of their squads and basically telling you who is, or sharing my thoughts basically on, does these certain players deserve the price tag in FPL terms. So I'm gonna look at Arsenal quickly. And Arsenal, I chose Pepe. Firstly, Pepe came in at 7.5. Pepe don't deserve that price because he didn't have a great season last season. He only came good here at the end of the season with a couple of goals and assists. But to still coming at 7.5 million, I think that is not valid for me. I don't think he deserves that price tag. I think his price should have been at least like 6.5 or 6 million. And then we have Saka. Saka had a great season carrying Arsenal right through the season. He was their best player, and I think at 6.5 that's actually a bargain in FPL terms. And I think his price should have went up to 7.5 million or even 8 million to the extent, because he had a great season last season. And then we look at Aubameyang. Aubameyang came in at 10 million. He didn't have a great season last season. It wasn't his best in terms of goals also as well. He's still a good striker, a great striker actually. I just think last season wasn't his season at all. By coming in at 10 million, I think his price needed to at least drop, like say to 9 million or 8.5. But he's still a good striker. And then we have Lacazette coming in at 8.5 million. He also didn't have a good season. He had some few goals. Like Arsenal's form last season to the end of the season was good, and he was a bit part of that. But still coming in at 8.5, I think his price also needed to drop at least to 8 million or 7.5. All of these players' prices actually came down. Pepe is 7.2 now. Saka is 6.3. Aubameyang is 9.9, and Lacazette is 8.4 currently right now. So I don't think, because it's probably because of their form right now, losing 3 on the spin, I think Arsenal needs to really wake up there, eh? And then we look at Aston Villa. They signed Ings and Emiliano. So I chose these two players. Ings coming at 8 million. I think that is super justified. Ings had a great season with Southampton last season, and scoring a lot of goals also as well, in double figures. I think, and he was also a great asset in FPL terms also as well. So that's a valid 8 million for Ings. Emiliano, this guy comes from Norwich, so Aston Villa signed him, and him coming at 6.5, he did great in the championship, but this is the Premier League, guys, man. Come on now. So I just think 6.5 million for a good championship player. I think I think he should have just came in at maybe 6 million at least because of his performance. But 6.5 is also a little bit good. His price went down to 6.4. It's probably because of him going away to international and he will be quarantined. So a lot of managers probably took him out. So that's why his price probably dropped. And then we look at Mings, 5 million, a very good defender. Was always probably in the bonus points if Aston Villa got a clean sheet. Solid at the back. He's in the national team for England, so I think that's a solid. Maybe 5.5 even could have went up a bit, but 5 million is totally justified. And then we look at Martinez, 5.5, and I think this guy was great last season, saving some penalties. He was getting the clean sheets, getting the save points, so totally justified. 5.5 for Martin is great FPL asset last season. So yeah. And then we look at Brentford. I don't really know much about Brentford, but the headliner from Brentford is Ivan Toney, and he came in at 6.5. He scored 31 goals in the championship, but we all saw with Timo Pukki of Norwich. You can score a lot of goals in the championship, but when it comes to the Premier League, your goals will dry a bit up there, eh? And yeah, so he also just scored 1 goal in 3 appearances now in the start of the season. So 6.5, I don't think that is. I think even if he scores 40 goals in the championship, 50 goals, it doesn't matter. I think his price should have been at least 5.5 or 6 million, the same as Emiliano from Aston Villa. I think 6 million is good. His price currently now is 6.4 million, so his price went down probably because of his performance. So managers are now taking him out and replacing him with other strikers. So then we look at Brighton. Brighton Sanchez, the goalkeeper. He comes in at 4.5, a good price for a goalkeeper. Very much cheap, and that is what you are willing to spend on a goalkeeper. 4.5, and that's a good amount. It was his breakout season last season, so I think that's a good price for him to start off. And then we have Mopey, consistently every season, 6.5. This guy is a little bit underrated. He has a bit of an attitude also as well. He might just lose it sometimes, getting in with yellow cards, getting in with the ref. So 6.5 is good, and he's a good goal scorer. I actually put him in my team last season, and I went on about Mopey, and he actually came good for me, and I took him out at the right time. And then I'm gonna touch on a player that Brighton hasn't been using, and I'm obviously proudly South African, and I have Percy Tau here. I think his price was 5 million there around. It could have been more, but yeah, Percy Tau, I think if Brighton probably just used the guy, they didn't play much. I think he scored in pre-season, and I think he went to Al-Ahly now in the transfer window, and I think Brighton is totally missing out on a great player in Percy Tau that does wonders. And I've seen him a few times in Brighton colours, and I actually got excited for him because I like Percy Tau actually. So yeah, the guy he does wonders with the ball, and I think if Pizzo Masamani said, even also if you get a happy Percy Tau, you will see phenomenal stuff from him. So yeah, I think Brighton is actually missing out on a very good player there, eh? And also let's look to Burnley. So yeah, by Burnley I have Wood, and Wood is a good striker coming in at 7 million. I think that is justified also as well, because his price was always 6.5, and so So I think 7 million is his price went a bit up. So 7 million is good because he came good, yeah, at the end of the season of last season. So got some good goals. His price currently dropped to 6.9 million. I think it's probably because of Burnley's performances now. Managers are looking to ship him out and get other strikers. But I think he recently just scored a goal now, so maybe they will change their mind in terms of that. So, and then the other player is Pope, the goalkeeper. I think 5.5 is a little bit not valid, because why, he didn't have such a good season last season. Yes, he was a lot injured, but he couldn't help for that also as well. And he's a great FPL asset. A couple of seasons ago, he was about 4.5. Then he reached to 5 million. Now he's 5.5. So I think he still justifies that 5.5 price. So I think Pope, he's a very good goalkeeper. So he gives you always good save points, and he can also stop a penalty. So maybe he will surprise you guys. But after the break, we will cover Chelsea, Crystal Palace, Everton, Leeds, and Leicester City. So see you guys after the break. And I also have a surprise for you guys. Since I said something about proudly South African, will you remember this item that was back in 2010? And that's the only clue I'm giving you guys. So see you guys after the break. Hi guys, welcome back. So we are still with the main topic, and it's FPL prices. Do the players deserve their price, or don't they deserve their price? So we're gonna dig into Chelsea right now, and I picked out a few players, and I'm gonna start with Romelu Lukaku at 11.5 million. And I think Lukaku is justified that price because he's a goal scorer. He's like your Harry Kane, your Ronaldo. He's in that bracket of goal scorers now, basically. And I think he is justified that price, yes. He scored a lot of goals in Serie A, won the Italian league with Inter Milan. So I think he deserves that 11.5. I won't go lower and I won't go higher. So yes, you are guaranteed points with Romelu Lukaku there. On the other hand, with Timo Werner, that guy, he's been missing in front of goal the whole time. I think he scored in the international break now for Germany, and I think that might boost his confidence by coming in at 9 million. And I think he's still adapting to English football. So Timo Werner is not a striker that you would want to sign for your FPL team, and I think you wouldn't want a team player like him. You would want a goal scorer like Lukaku. You're obviously gonna pay more for Lukaku, but for Timo Werner last season he had a horrific season. So coming at 9 million, no, I think his price should have dropped to at least like 8 million or so, because of his form and because of the season that he had. But I see his price also went down at 8.7 million, and I think people are just shifting away from Timo Werner right now. But maybe with that goal, they will probably now sign him instead of Lukaku. But where is he gonna fit in the Chelsea team right now? So we first have to wait and see. But an important player for Chelsea right now is Mason Mount at 7.5 million in FPL. I think that is a super bargain because like this guy, he ranks up the assists, he gets in the area, he gets a few goals also as well. So 7.5 is actually a bargain for an important player that plays week in and week out for Chelsea. So I think he's a very good player. I think his price should have went up to 8.5 million instead of now the 7.5, but that's a bargain right now to get into your team. We have Pulisic last for the Chelsea team, 8 million. for a player that has been a lot injured last season, and he's still injured also as well. I think this guy you wouldn't want to sign for 8 million. Um, I think there's better alternative players in that bracket, like obviously like Mason Mount that plays each week, and you don't think Pulisic is going to play each week, and he was supposed to replace Eden Hazard as the player that plays on the left flank, and I think he hasn't been doing that. I think his price should have dropped at least to 7.5 or 7 million, and his actual price right now currently is 7.9. So I think he's well on his way to doing that. And then we have Crystal Palace, the team. And if we think about Crystal Palace, we think of Wilfred Zaha, and I think that's the main player that Crystal Palace depends on. He's coming in at 7 million. I think he's such an important player for Crystal Palace. I think his price should have went a little bit up, but I think because of their season, also last season, they haven't been doing so great, and he has been playing well for them, and he's always been looking for a move away from Crystal Palace. But I think his FPL price being 7 million, I think that's a bargain for us. If he bangs in those goals and gets the regular assist, I think he will definitely kick on. But I think his price should have been at least 7.5 million, because he's very important to Crystal Palace. And then we look at to Christian Benteke. And if we think about Christian Benteke now, we basically laugh because why? That guy went from banging in goals for Aston Villa, um, being important to them also as well. And when his career was so on a high, he went to Liverpool. I think Liverpool just broke him, and then he just went downhill from there. And his price for this season coming in at 6.5 million, for a striker that was banging goals, like I said, in Aston Villa. um, I think his price when he was there was probably 8 million or 8.5, but now his price is now 6.5 million, and he hasn't been doing any great. Even last season also as well, he scored a couple of goals, showed some glimpses of the old Benteke that we all would want to see from him. But wow, a player's career that just went totally down. And his price is now currently at 6.4 million. So I don't think anyone would want to sign Benteke because he's too inconsistent. And then we look at Everton, another blue team. Then we look at DCL, Dominic Calvert-Lewin, coming in at 8 million. I think that is justified because why? If you look at the season last season, great, scoring a lot of goals, always, and he has been a great asset to FPL as well. His price went up to 8.5 now, 8.2 sorry, currently now. So if you don't have the DCL, get him in before his price ranks up to 9 million, which I think he will at the end of the day get that. And another player that has been impressive also as well is Richarlison at 7.5 million. I think that's a bargain. I think his price and Dominic Calvert-Lewin's price should be exactly the same, because why? They just feed off each other and they score goals and they assist each other. So I think that is a good price at 7.5. That's a bargain actually. And his price also went up to 7.6 million now currently. So I think Richarlison, he will come good if you have him in your FPL team. And then we look at Iwobi, the last player from Everton, coming in at 6 million. I think Arsenal just broke this guy. I think Arsenal and Liverpool just break players, like with Benteke, broke him, and now Iwobi, Arsenal just broke him basically. He's coming in at 6 million, and I think his price for a player that doesn't start really, I think his price should have dropped to 5 million. I don't think the 6 million justifies him, and his price is also dropping at 5.9 now currently. So I think he's well on his way to 5 million. So yeah, I think he will be. No, he's a no. And then we look at Leeds United, a very exciting team, a very attacking team, a team of players that you would love to get into FPL. But the guy that was making headways also as well as a defender, and he was playing in midfield. I think you know who I'm talking about. Dallas. He's coming in at 5.5 million. I think this guy racked up a lot of points for FPL managers. He's a midfielder this year, so whack whack for the players that want to get some good points out of him. I think he still has that goal threat if he's still playing in midfield at 5.5. That's a good bargain. But I think managers would have liked him to stay a defender, but FPL has updated that to a midfield, updated him to a midfielder, so we're losing out there. So yeah, and then we have Rafinha, the player that I love so much. This guy is skillful. He's a Brazilian. I mean, obviously. So Rafinha coming in at 6.5. He had a great season also last season. I think this guy is phenomenal. I think he could easily play in the top 6 teams. He could go to Spurs, to Everton. I'm surprised one of the top 6 didn't sign him actually in this transfer window, but maybe in the next transfer window or end of the season they will probably look at Rafinha, and at 6.5 he's a bargain in FPL terms. So he's gonna get you some assists, he's gonna get you goals also as well, because Leeds are a very attacking team. So he's justified at 6.5. Maybe I think he should have went higher, 7.5 or at least 8 million, because he's very important to Leeds United. And then a player's price that went up also is Bamford at 8 million. I think this guy, I think he justifies that 8 million. I think maybe 7.5 would have been good. He scored a lot of goals. He also plays FPL, so shout out to Bamford. I hope you're watching, buddy. You were in my team, by the way. So yeah, 8 million is justified. I think this guy, he captains himself also as well. So I think this guy has a lot of confidence in himself. So 8 million justified. But his price went down also to 7.9. So maybe certain fantasy league managers will look at him also now. And then we're looking at Leicester. And if we talk about Leicester, we have to talk about Jamie Vardy, the Vardy party, coming in at 10.5 million. I think this guy, he just bangs in the goals. We know what we're gonna get from Jamie Vardy. He didn't have that much of a good season last season. So, but I think for his price at 10.5 million, maybe 10 million, I think it should have been. But 10.5 is still justifying of the player that we know what we're gonna get out of Jamie Vardy. So I think that's a good price. And then we look at Daka, a new signing for Leicester at 7.5 million. His price went down to 7.2 million. And I think we don't have a lot of information about Daka. I think him coming in and him not being used, but it's still early days, so maybe his price dropping now rapidly down to 7 million. He's getting more closer to 7 million than to 8 million. So I think his price should have been, for a new signing, I think his price should have been at least like 6.5 or 7 million there down. Because we don't have a lot of information about him. And then a player that we have information of is Iheanacho. Iheanacho coming in at 7.5 million this season. His price went down to 7.2 million also as well. I think it's because he hasn't been starting and Barnes is now back. So Barnes is back in the squad playing on the left-hand flank, and Vardy's playing alone up front. So his game time has been limited. But when he comes on, he makes the damage and he scores goals. So I think Brendan Rodgers must change that method, put Barnes on the bench and play Iheanacho with a body. And we all saw what Iheanacho could do. He was just banging in the goals. When Leicester needed him, he was banging in those goals and he was banging those points in for the FPL managers. So I know I had him in my team and he scored a lot of goals. So hopefully Brendan Rodgers puts him back in, and with his price going down, he could be a good steal again this season. So yes, and that wraps up part 1 of our FPL prices for the teams for this episode. And I said also, I have a surprise for you guys, and it comes out of 2010 World Cup because I'm proudly South African, and I think you guys know what it is. It is the Vuvuzela, the Vuvuzela. I'm gonna go ahead and play a note for you guys. I hope it comes out right. So let's give it a hit. And with that, I'm signing off. Please, guys, like, share, subscribe us. This is Faba signing out. I hope you guys enjoyed the episode with us, with me actually the today. And yeah, hopefully I'm gonna bring someone on the show to give us a hoot with the Vuvuzela. And yes, I hope you guys just be safe out there also as well, guys. Wear your mask, sanitize your hands, and also have fun in FPL. Hope you guys enjoyed the episode as much as I did. We'll see you guys back with part 2 of FPL prices, where we tackle the rest of the other premiership clubs. Like I said, please like, share, and subscribe for more content with us. And yes, we hope to see you guys back next week and ready for game week 4. So I'm out. See you.